champion of New England.
Nine's alive.
Live from the studios of WMUR TV, this is New Hampshire's News 9, the Night Report.
Good evening, New Hampshire. I'm Tom Griffith.
And I'm Judy Fortin. Thank you for joining us. President Reagan wanted to talk about the INF Treaty.
He sure did. Instead, he once again ended up defending his beleaguered Attorney General. Reagan's briefing with reporters comes only one day after Edwin Meese fired his chief spokesman for failing to adequately defend him from the media. Reagan said he continues to have confidence in the Attorney General.
This is not the time. There have been a great many allegations made, but nothing has been proven, and I've seen no evidence of any wrongdoing on his part of the kind that is inferred in the allegations that are being kicked around.
Reagan also refused to tell reporters today if the U.S. has offered to drop drug charges against Panama's Manuel Noriega if the military leader agrees to relinquish power, but did admit negotiations were going on between the two countries involved.
Reagan was more willing to talk about the INF Treaty, especially since the Senate began debate on that document today. Reagan would like to see the treaty ratified before he heads to Moscow later this month for a summit with Soviet leader Gorbachev. Reagan today called the arms reduction pact a major diplomatic milestone that will lead to further reductions in the nuclear arsenals of both countries. However, Senate Majority Leader Robert Byrd continues to threaten to put the ratification process on the back burner if President Reagan makes good his threat to veto the trade bill. Well, the slogan Made in America appears to be catching on overseas. Rising American exports have helped to shrink the trade deficit to the lowest level in 3 years. $9.7 billion. That's a drop from $13.8 billion in February. It may sound like a reason for celebrating, but some Wall Street analysts see it as bad news. The nation's trade deficit dropped $4 billion in the month of March. A big jump in exports of manufactured goods such as planes, computers, and cars are getting the credit. There was also an unusually large sale of gold to Taiwan. And imports also rose, but by only 1/4 as much as exports. The exports have been helping to shrink the trade deficit ever since its peak last summer.
The dollar has depreciated so much since January and February of 1985 that it has almost forced our trading partners to look at the United States as a very cheap place to buy its goods.
But some economists warn that the trade deficit isn't necessarily going to continue on a downward trend.
I would caution that we are not going to get this kind of a dramatic improvement in the figures month by month or quarter by quarter.
Rising exports are keeping manufacturers happy. American factories are running at 82.7% capacity, the highest level in 8 years. But there is a downside to the manufacturing boom and high employment rate. There's a fear on Wall Street that inflation might set in.
I don't know what it's going to take to get this market to go higher, but it seems if you give it good news, people perceive it as bad. The bad news they take as bad news, and that's what creates the down days.
By the way, the Dow Jones Industrial Average ended the day by dropping more than 21 points to close at 1986.40. The volume was more than 134 million shares traded.
Well, tonight, people living along one of Manchester's fastest streets are telling city leaders they've had enough. Just days after a tragic accident that killed 2 Notre Dame college students, 250 neighbors have signed a petition now demanding the city take action. Night reporter Bob Ward is standing by live now on Maple Street near where the accident happened. And Bob, what do the people there want?
Tom, they want a working traffic light at this intersection. Right now there's just a blinking light. And the neighbors say the problem is this, that from Bridge Street, about a half-mile up in that direction, down to Webster Street, which is about a half-mile down there are no traffic lights. And neighbors say drivers pretty much just fly down this one-way street. They'd like to see a traffic light to slow things down and maybe to prevent another tragedy from happening.
Menendez and passenger Kelly Ryan probably never knew what happened when their car slammed into a tree on Maple Street Friday night. The force of the impact was so strong, the car's front end split apart, landing 80 feet from the rest of the vehicle. Police say Menendez was traveling at about 70 miles an hour. The speed limit is 30.
Now, this is the scene of the accident as it appears today. You can see the bark on this big maple tree was savagely ripped apart by the force of the accident. And friends and neighbors have lined the trunk of this tree with flowers and cards. all in remembrance of the 2 young accident victims who died Friday night.
Police know there is a speeding problem along Maple Street. They have extra radar patrols in the area tracking down fast drivers. Neighbors say the police have made some difference, but what's really needed, they say, is a working traffic light.
I have 2 young children that are at elementary school age, and my concern is them playing out in the street near this traffic because it's so fast.
At City Hall, the Traffic Committee accepted the petition and talked favorably about the new light, but things got heated when they said it could take up to a year to put up a new light.
We waste more money in the city of Manchester on blacktop on streets, and every other company in the city digs them up. And you're telling me kids have to die before you do something about it?
Relax. We're not here to debate the issue. I think we're all in agreement that there's a problem there. We're going to try to move as quickly as we can to resolve the problem, but there are certain processes we have to follow. We have no control over that.
Mayor Bolio supports the new light. He'd like to see it in place within 90 days.
If it comes back that the police department and the traffic department says that this would be good for the community, it could save lives, then I think we have an obligation to the people to find the money and not wait that long.
Now, a week from Saturday, neighbors here will try to slow down the traffic themselves. They'll hold a parade starting at Central High School right along this road, urging drivers to keep their speeds down. Tom?
Bob, why do aldermen think it could take a full year to get a light in there?
Well, they say the new signal needs approval from the state, and they say the signal would cost $45,000, so they have to find the money from somewhere. But Mayor Bolio is convinced that if the city decides it wants to go along with this project, he'll be able to cut through the red tape and get it up probably in about 90 days.
There's a fast one going behind you right there right now.
It sure is.
$45,000 for a light.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay, Bob, thank you very much. Judy?
There are sketchy reports this evening about a bad accident in the Lakes region. Radio dispatch reports indicate 6 people were involved in the crash, which took place in Belmont. Apparently, 1 person is in critical condition, 2 others are in serious condition. A number of emergency personnel are on the scene of that accident, which happened only minutes ago. Tonight, some New Hampshire transportation officials are worried about the safety of the buses that may carry your children to school in the morning. Authorities say the older gas-powered buses, such as the one involved in that fatal accident in Kentucky over the weekend, aren't inspected as often as some would like. The newer buses are powered by diesel and are inspected 3 times a year. The older buses are inspected only once a year. That bothers James Richards, supervisor of school buses for the New Hampshire Department of Safety.
Everybody at least voluntarily comply with the rules and regulations for school bus. It's primarily for the safety of the children and the welfare. I'm uncomfortable with it.
Richards would like to see church and other groups who use gas-powered buses comply with state standards. Tom?
Well, today, a reminder of how dangerous the Persian Gulf can be. 1 year ago, an Iraqi warplane attacked the USS Stark. 37 crewmen died in the missile assault. Today, relatives gathered for a special memorial service at sea. Other services were held today in Mississippi, Arlington, Virginia, and aboard Navy ships around the world.
Well, still to come on the Night Report, we'll tell you about the Democrats who would like to represent New Hampshire in Congress.
And later on, a rough day for some North Carolina cops. Stay with us tonight. We're coming right back.
Acura, Sunnyside, Integra, Sunnyside, Legend, Sunnyside Acura. Now Sunnyside Acura announces its 1 cent sale. Believe it or not, you buy any dealer-installed accessory at the regular price, get another at the same or lower price for just 1 cent. Acura Legend, the quality of Mercedes or BMW at half the price. Acura Legend and Integra. Hurry, the 1 cent sale at Sunnyside Acura, 2 miles west of Route 3 on Amherst Street, 101A, Nashua. The world's best cars, the world's best dealership. Sunnyside Acura, Nashua.
Welcome home to some American dreams, brought to you by Anderson, the windows more people come home to than any other.
Come home.
Get this 84-page book of window ideas at these Anderson dealers.
Somerville Lumber, Auburn Building Supply, Suburban Lumber Company, and East Coast Lumber.
It's the great sale days of May, now at Alexander's Supermarkets. Little Alex.
Hi.
Has super savings for you. Savings like these.
You clean up the savings on wash day with the half-gallon size West detergent at the incredibly low price of $1.99. Start your day with fresh Tropicana Premium or Homestyle Orange Juice, the half-gallon carton for only $1.69.
It's the great sale days of May, now at Alexander's Supermarkets.
Camper's Showcase at the junction of Route 3 and 28 between Manchester and Concord, New Hampshire is big. And in this case, bigger is better. Camper Showcase has a huge selection of the finest quality RVs by Rockwood and Kit, ranging from camper trailers to travel trailers, fifth wheels, and top-of-the-line motorhomes. Camper Showcase sales staff has the recreational vehicles to fit your budget and lifestyle, plus a parts and service department guaranteed to keep you on the road.
Camper Showcase, puts fun on the road.
The polls have just closed in Oregon, where voters are picking their favorite Democratic candidate. Voter surveys show that Governor Michael Dukakis should easily win tonight's primary, but Oregon does have a tradition of favoring underdogs like Jesse Jackson. 45 delegates are up for grabs.
Well, New Hampshire's Democrats say they're ready to take on the Republicans in the 2nd Congressional District. Last night, we told you about the Republicans considering a run at Judd Gregg's seat should he decide to run for governor. And by the way, insiders say he will announce he will run this coming Monday. Well, tonight we look at the list of possible Democratic contenders considering to run for the 2nd Congressional seat. On the names most mentioned list, Steve Chugg, a Concord political activist, and Barbara Underwood, a former Republican representative who's ready to change party affiliation. Bruce Anderson, a Harrisville energy consultant, and Steve McAuliffe, a Concord attorney, are both names mentioned by party members as impressive men who would make excellent candidates. Joe Graham-Maison, state party chairman, and Ned Helms, a former health and welfare commissioner, both stopped the seat once and might consider running again, only if a suitable candidate isn't found. Both believe there's a good candidate out there.
In the 2nd District, I think we have a number of candidates who are potentially very strong. The one that comes immediately to my mind is the mayor of the largest city in the 2nd District, Jim Donches.
We do know that Donches has made inquiries with top Democratic leaders about a possible run. It was just a few weeks ago that he bowed out of the governor's race and threw his support behind Paul McEachern. We talked to Donches tonight. We tried to nail him down. He says that he is indeed weighing the options very carefully.
Many of the party leaders have come to me and suggested that I should run because they think that I could be successful. It certainly would be a close campaign, but if you look at past history, gubernatorial candidates and presidential candidates have invariably done better in the 2nd Congressional District than in the 1st, and I think it's a district that is a toss-up.
And insiders tell us Donches is only waiting for Gregg to formally announce that he will seek the governor's post. Then we are told Donches will throw his hat into the ring. Well, Nashville police have arrested a man who allegedly sexually assaulted children at a babysitting service. 34-year-old Michael Arnold faces almost 20 counts of sexual assault. His wife ran the babysitting center out of her home, but she has not been connected with the case as of yet. Police said today they think the sexual assaults involved 2 boys and 2 girls between the ages of 4 and 7.
These aren't easy times for teenagers, nor for the people who keep an eye on them. Guidance counselors and school health officials met in Concord today to learn the best way to spot problems before they get out of hand. Things like suicide and drug abuse. The keynote speaker of a conference pointed out the toughest thing to do is to make teenagers realize there is a tomorrow.
That's a frustration, and I think it's a frustration that we as adults see, because we'd like to be able to see our kids, shake them and say, wait, but you got to... And they're sitting back and saying, yeah, but why? You know, but tomorrow I got to do this, and they don't see that long-term type of thing.
The conference showed its participants some of the warning signs to look for and some strategies for coping with teenage problems.
We want to make it clear that the wife involved in that sexual assault I was talking about a few minutes ago is not involved in that case at all, and there's no indication that she will be charged at all with that case. We just wanted to clear that up. And as far as the weather is concerned, it looks like, well, a mixed bag, kind of.
Yeah, we have some leaking clouds out there at this moment, but they should cease to drift, and we'll be looking at just cloudy skies.
Okay.
Okay, hopefully some sunshine, too, in the future. Well, also coming up, Stephen King flops on Broadway. Stay with us.
There are those who fervently believe that true perfection is found in the details. At the Bavarian Motor Works, we gave that belief a name. We call it the BMW 735i. Beautiful, to be sure. Yet perhaps the most beautiful thing about it is its spirit. Test drive the ultimate driving machine at your New England BMW dealers.
Only one rear-engine Ryder is America's #1 choice, Snapper. #1 in rugged dependability and innovative features, like high vacuum mowing with your choice of catchers. Snapper, America's #1 choice. Quick-starting Snapper walk mowers have the same built-in quality and let you detach, vacuum leaves, and finish the whole job fast.
Now you can own Snapper quality for as little as $299.95 and get a free rear bagger.
Available at Stills Incorporated, Ryan Ford Tractor, and A1 Saw Sharpening and Small Engine Repair.
For building materials, East Coast Lumber is the contractor's choice. But you know, there's plenty for homeowners too, right there at East Coast, including a full line of Maco adhesives for all your caulking and sealing needs. And with Aristocraft cabinets, you can really modernize and beautify your kitchen. And at the end of my day, a real Thermosol whirlpool. Now that's how to relax. For materials, service, value, East Coast Lumber. It's all the home center I need.
Frank Yanko's grand opening celebration continues. Save hundreds. No, thousands on New England's largest selection of new Pontiacs and Cadillacs. 88 Pontiac Grand Am Coupe, more exciting value for only $84.13, or an 88 Le Mans for just $29.43 per week. This is not a lease. Zero down. No payments till summer at 00 Frank Yanko's Pontiac Cadillac in Manchester near the Mall of New Hampshire. Hurry!
We had such a beautiful weekend. I'm looking forward now to getting it back to the way it was.
I know. Hopefully we're going to get through this muggy and rainy period, Rick.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too, but I think it's going to be really slow improvement now over the next several days. Now, there'll be some improvement in the humidity department, but not in the way of a lot of sunshine. We do have some rain now on radar from about the east of Laconia down through east of Concord, Manchester, down through Nashua, and over on our seacoast from Portland, Maine, all the way down through the Boston area. All this area is moving off towards the east-northeast, so if you have some showers outside your door now, they should stop by the daybreak hour. Then watch out for some patches of dense fog to form by morning. So as you're heading out to school, work, something to think about. And yes, more showers are off over Pennsylvania, down through portions of Maryland and southern New Jersey. So showers will probably be in our forecast once again later tomorrow afternoon. I want to emphasize that most of the daylight hours tomorrow should be rain-free. Outside now, though, we do have some drippy clouds. 62 in Manchester, Seabrook at 58 with some showers. Lebanon just 59 and cloudy. The rain is headed there. Guilford at 60 with a few scattered showers. 86 the relative humidity. Winds are calm, and the barometer rising from 29.95. High temperature today well above normal with a little hazy sunshine at 76. Low at 55. There's your record high of 93 back in 1977, and a 27 in 1957. On our satellite tonight, we do have this cool front that's sort of oozing through the area tonight, and that will bring in some relief. A little bit of a less humid air will be moving in from the north, but as you can see, we still have some clouds socked in. Here's that front with the showers. This area low pressure producing some good thunderstorms today over portions of North and South Carolina. Damage to trees, roofs. The peach crops down there have been fairly well damaged, so watch for the prices of peaches maybe to be a little bit on the high side because of some real severe weather over the past couple of days. 1 to 3 inches of rain over south central Pennsylvania, where flash flood warnings continue into effect. And like I told you, a big hailstorm over portions of North and South Carolina. This area of high pressure is a slow mover, so very little improvement in our weather picture. The nation's hot spot today was down in Presidio, Texas, where it got up to 110 degrees. Very cool out over the Pacific Northwest, while it stays rainy out over the southern Rockies. My forecast for all around New Hampshire for overnight tonight. Showers and patchy fog, lows of 50 to 54. Then tomorrow morning fog will give way, maybe some afternoon breaks, but then late in the afternoon and tomorrow evening, more showers will start to pop up with a high near 70 inland, 60s on the coast. Then tomorrow night we'll have periods of rain that'll be moving in late with an overnight low near 50 degrees, and my extended forecast for Thursday calling for some light rain Steadiest rain will come in late Wednesday night and throughout the day on Thursday. Only 50s on the coast, 65 inland, and then still a threat of some showers on Friday. Lots of sun, hoping for Saturday and Sunday with temperatures up around 80 degrees.
Oh, that'll be nice.
It will be.
Let's
yes.
get all that wet stuff out of here.
Out of here.
All right.
All right, something to look forward to. If you think the story of a girl with psychic powers who turns her high school prom into a bloodbath isn't the best subject for a Broadway musical, you're not alone. A musical version of Stephen King's horror novel Carrie became a horror story for the backers of the show. The show closed down this weekend after only 5 shows and lost $8 million. It was the most expensive flop in Broadway history.
Well, you have probably heard about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That saying came to life for policemen in Charlotte, North Carolina, when 2 police cars were crushed in a freak accident. Now, police were questioning 2 teenage boys accused of possessing drugs when a semi-tractor trailer and a pickup truck collided on the interstate. The 2 trucks slid into the 5 police cars that were on the side of the road. 2 policemen were injured in that incident.
It's a bad accident.
Sure was.
Well, stay with us. Sports is coming up next. Highlights of tonight's NBA playoff action, including the Lakers.
And a big hitting display down at Fenway. Unfortunately, the A's stole the show. We'll have all those stories and much more coming up next in sports.
How well does your car stand up to heavy traffic?
It's the great sale days of May, now at Alexander's Supermarkets. Little Alex has super savings for you. Savings like these.
You'll enjoy fantastic savings when you stock up now on super absorbent high-dry paper towels. 2 jumbo rolls for only $1. And 6 varieties of Huggies Super Trim or thick disposable diapers with the elastic waist to stop leaking are only $8.99.
It's the great sale days of May, now at Alexander's Supermarkets.
Hi, boys. Only Toro offers the 2-year starting guarantee. This Toro will start on the first or second pull for 2 years, or Toro will fix it free. Guaranteed.
Save up to $80 during the Toro Red Tag sale at your local Toro dealer.
New Toyotas at dead cost.
The Lowe's and 00 Frank & Co. has hundreds of new select model Toyotas, yours at dead cost.
Under federal law, I can't advertise dead cost unless Queen City Toyota delivers dead cost.
No money down.
No payments for 3 months.
New England's #1 Toyota dealer in sales, service, and customer satisfaction. 00 Frank & Co.'s Queen City Toyota at the Mall of New Hampshire.
Toyotas at dead cost. I really mean it.
Well, not a good night for the Red Sox.
No kidding. When they face the best, I guess you have to...
Well, they were hitting the heck out of the ball. They had 16 hits tonight, but they couldn't seem to string them all together. They got 7 runs. They still ended up losing to these guys. Well, the A's continue to smoke through Eastern Division teams. They outslugged the Red Sox tonight, 12 runs off 16 hits. And against East Coast teams now, Oakland is 15-3. A's didn't waste any time getting to Steve Ellsworth 2 in the first, and Dave Parker will send another pair to the plate with this smash to left center field. That'll score Weiss and Lansford, and that made it a 4-0 game. Now, that was it for Ellsworth, and an inning and a third, 4 runs off 6 hits. But John Troutwine, he didn't fare much better.
With the 3-2 pitch. Loop to left. It's a hit. Parker has scored. McGuire scores.
But Ron Hasse doesn't. He gets gunned down at third, but the damage was done. A 4-run second, 6-0 A's. Boston got on the board a couple of times in the third, though. Mike Greenwell with an RBI single here. That made it a 7-2 game, but Oakland got him back when Mr. Muscle, Mark McGuire, stepped up here in the fourth. Oh, my goodness is right. Home run number 11 for McGuire. That ties him for the league lead with the Twins' Kurt Herbeck. Bob Stanley pitched well in relief, but the A's make it 2 in a row over the Sox. Oakland 12, Boston 7. We're going to head to New York now. Billy Martin's crew against the Mariners. Early on, here's Don Mattingly at the launching pad, and he takes one deep. His third home run. That was a 2-run blow-off Maine native Billy Swift. But that's all the run Swift would yield on the night as the Mariners come back with a pair of boomer balls here. That's Ken Phelps. Scott Bradley added a solo shot. Seattle snaps the Yankees' 3-game win streak. The final tonight was 6-2. And here's how the scoreboard checks out tonight. A little too much rain at Baltimore. Cleveland takes care of Chicago 6-2. Mike Flanagan started at Toronto, but they're tied up at 4 now in the 10th. Kansas City 4, Minnesota 2. That's in the 7th. Detroit 5, Milwaukee 2, and the 6th. We'll go to Wrigley Field now. Pitcher's duel between Jose De Leon and our very good friend John Tudor. Tudor gets a little help here in the 6th, though. Keep an eye on Willie McGee, center field with a nice backhanded stab, and he makes the grab, hits the turf there for good measure. Now, neither Tudor or De Leon got the decision. Both were gone by the 11th, and that is the game-winning hit right there. A bouncer over second base. Cardinals beat the Cubs 3-0. And the National League scoreboard looks like that. Atlanta a winner, Houston 3-2 over Pittsburgh in the 7th. Well, the Celtics and the Hawks will go at it again tomorrow night in Game 5 of their playoff series. 2 games on tap tonight, and our first stop will be the Mile High City Mavericks and Nuggets. Series tied at 2. Coach of the Year right there, Doug Moe, getting an award. And early on, Denver out quick. They score the first 6 points of the game. Alex English with a nice little runner there. But on come the Mavericks. Here on a run, coast to coast. Sam Perkins at the other end. He's going to finish off this nice break-in style as he slams. They're tied up at 103 right now. They're late in the 4th quarter. And now we'll head out west. Lakers and Jazz just underway. Here's a highlight for you. John Stockton to the mailman. Boom! Down it goes. A pretty pair. Utah up by a couple. And that game just underway. Well, here in the Granite State, the UNH-Dartmouth football rivalry has been renewed. The 2 teams worked out a deal to play 1990, 92, and 93. Now, the Wildcats have gone 6-1-1 the last 8 years, but Dartmouth leads the series 17-6-1, and it dates all the way back to 1901.
Wow, at least they won't have to travel far.
No, not at all. It'd be good to have them back. Dartmouth won the first 16 games of that series, and UNH has been kind of doing a number on them since.
Do you remember them?
Do I remember them back in 1901? Yeah. I remember the last 2, and they were whitewashing.
Oh, thanks, Frank.
Well, that is the news for the night. Thank you for joining us. Tomorrow on 5:30 Live's cover story, a look at how the state is trying to keep drunk drivers off the road.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Have a good one.
Good night now.
Good night.
It's the great sale days of May, now at Alexander's Supermarkets. Little Alex.
Hi.
Has super savings for you. Savings like these.
Mott's 100% pure, all-natural apple juice in the 64-ounce bottle is specially priced at only $1.29. And Mrs. Paul's crunchy light fish sticks and fish fillets in the 11-ounce package is featured at only $1.69.
It's the great sale days of May, now at Alexander's Supermarkets.